kept looking back and forth. It's getting real. What's up, guys?
What up? What up? All right, you guys are in the mud box with the tile guy and Scratching Brown. Well, today we got Isaac Ostrom and Joe. I think you guys are pretty well aware of what these guys got into yesterday. So we brought them on, and we're going to talk to them a bit and kind of get the rundown on how this all went down, you know. But right off the bat, you know, I'm going to let these guys give themselves an intro, especially Isaac. You know, this is he's not new to social media, but he's new to our mud group. So Isaac, you know, with that, you know, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for having me on. Yeah, I've been a tile setter since the late 90s, and you know, Northern California methods, one coat floats is all we did over hot mops up here in Sacramento. So you know, I was just a tile guy, you know, just tile guy doing my best. I love tile, became successful at it, just had you know, mostly just me and a helper doing customs, you know, and then started to grow my company in the, you know, like around 2003, 2004, and started a YouTube channel just on, and the very first video I made was how to float, how to wall float. And that was in 2010, believe it or not. It was my first YouTube video. And from that video, what I learned is that not everybody floated. That's the main thing that I learned, because YouTube, you know, you get flooded with comments, and I had people calling me an idiot. I had people calling me, you know, all this stuff. You know, they'd never seen floating before. They didn't know what the heck I was doing. And so from that video, a lot of people were introduced to, you know, our methods here in Northern California. And, you know, I didn't do too many videos early on because I was still, you know, just working. And it's hard to make videos. It takes a lot of time, dedication, and money that you put into, and money that you're losing that you should be making on the job. So I didn't make very many videos. I probably made a half a dozen videos from that time till like 2017, because we started our showroom in 2013. So I was building my company, and just about 2017, I got some more time because I got some good guys working for me. I had some more free time, and so I started making more YouTube videos. And then kind of what happened was I made a video on one of my failures. Like, I went back to a job that I had done in 2007. So I went back to the job, and it was one of the early bonded systems. Like, I'd never done one of the foam noble seal kind of thing, you know. But I did it, and what happened was the drain and the noble seal delaminated from each other. From, you know, the factory had put it together. It wasn't a noble drain. It was an aftermarket company that is Quick Drain. Quick Drain made their own drains, and they just put the noble seal bonded to it. Well, that split, the sealant came out. So long story short, the shower pan failed, rotted out. I made a video on it, and I was just like, hey, I built this shower. It failed. This is why. and that video ended up going viral. It has almost 3 million views on it.
Oh shit.
So then my channel just really started getting going because of that. So that shaped my content a little bit to be a little bit more realistic, because on social media everybody likes to show the perfections, right? And so my videos were like kind of the first to be like, here's some real world stuff that happens, right? We run into issues. And I think people really keyed into that because they could relate. And they also, I've realized that people learn, people will learn from mistakes, oftentimes more than showing them how to do it the right way. So it was, from that point, you know, YouTube just continued to grow, and now it's grown to a point where it is what it is now. And, you know, it's really cool. So I've been mostly on YouTube just because that's all I've needed to do. I haven't had to do Facebook really, or Instagram, or any of that stuff. I've kind of just stayed in my own lane and tried to just keep going, because it's hard, man. You get so much negative stuff that you know, sometimes you just get this, you just like, dude, I don't even want to deal with this. And I'm sure you guys all know it too. Sometimes you're just like, dude, I don't even know if I want to do this anymore. But I've been able to compartmentalize it pretty good and be like, that's just the way it is. And, you know, people have their opinions, and if they're going to talk to me in person, just like how me and Joe did, you know, usually when you sit down shoulder to shoulder, face to face with another man, it's real, and all that that BS just goes away, right? So um, that's really cool how this whole thing is coming together, because I've been over on YouTube. You know, the Facebook guys usually kind of have their own thing, and then this was kind of the coming together of it, and I'm stoked, man. You know, I had a great time last night. Went out to dinner with you guys. You know, the wives were all, you know, hooked up and clicking, and it was rad.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, we had a lot of fun too. I honestly, I never watched YouTube other than like when I break my washing machine or I fuck something up. You know what I mean? So like YouTube was like a tool for me to do shit like that. The only tile guy I ever saw on YouTube was Landrum, the guy who does the tools.
Oh yeah, Landberg.
Yeah, Landberg. There you go. Yeah. So I checked his videos out, but it never clicked to me that like he had like a consistent channel. I just started barely learning that about like the channels and things like that. So there was guys at Mud 3, remember Joe, Carlo, that they came over and they said they heard about it on YouTube. And I don't know how our content got onto YouTube. And I haven't even to ask you about that. Was like I was wondering, like, was it back in the past? Had anybody on your channel talked about it or anything like that?
I probably had mentioned it. I think the one that was going to be in Fresno, was that 2 years ago?
Number 3, yeah.
That was 3.
That was 3.
I was actually gonna go to that because I talked to Kyle at DeSoto Sales up here in Sacramento, Kyle Bruns, and he was talking about it, and I go, yeah, man, I want to go down and check it out. So I talked to him, and I was actually going to go down and you know, maybe do a demo or something. And I talked to the guy at DeSoto in Fresno. I forgot his name. Was it Lance?
Oh, Lance. Yep.
Lance.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of stressed out. And he's like, oh, I don't know if we can take on anymore. We already have a bunch of stuff going on. I was like, it's all good. But I think I had mentioned it on my channel that I might be going down to Fresno to the mud thing, because for the whole time, I mean, from the time my channel begun, I've tried to promote mud as much as possible. And I do, you see me do all different kinds of methods on my channel. And the reason I do that is because I can't just do one thing or people are going to get bored. And I also have to do things that DIYers and stuff, like you said, if somebody Googles, hey, how to fix your dishwasher, how to tile your shower wall, I need to have stuff on there for them to learn too. So I try to keep like a wide range of everything for like the pros to do to the homeowners to do. And so I have a lot of stuff, but the whole time I've talked about mud and tried to promote it.
Yeah, that's badass.
Mm-hmm.
It's So, and Joe, I think that you're pretty well revered here on this side of the fence. You know what I mean? But
Right.
a lot of guys there that they don't know much about you and your history. So, why don't you tell little guys about yourself, a little bit of a backstory?
Yeah, sure. I started doing tile work in the Union in Santa Clara. Started working for Mullen Tile. I was only in there for like 2 years, and I had problems with the boss. The guy that hired me was dating my ex-girlfriend, so you could imagine. And that's how I got the job, was through her. But so Mullen Tile had 2 owners that were, they're in partnership with each other, and they didn't get along anymore. So they separated, went their own ways, and one of them started up a non-union shop as a competition to try to put Mullen out of business, and they started United Marble and Granite in Santa Clara. So I ended up going out and working for them once I got tired of Mullen, and I was there for like 6-7 years probably, just doing production work. Silicon Valley. I mean, we would go all the way down to King City, all the way up to Manteca. We'd go to all the way up to by Stockton, San Francisco. I was all over the Bay Area pretty much. But that's my background: production work, residential. And like Isaac said, you start getting burned out, and then you find these Facebook groups. I was ready to give up tile. And it just kind of give you more motivation to keep going. And now I got more motivation than ever to stay in the trade. So that's pretty cool.
That's badass, dude. I don't know if it's my side of the fence or what. It's all fucked up.
Yeah, I hear it on your side too.
I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna try to fucking.
Yeah, it's cutting out a little bit.
That's my.
Now Mario's froze up.
Yeah.
Joe, I can hear you pretty good. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah.
You're clear, Isaac.
Yeah.
How am I to you guys?
Handsome.
Carlo, take over.
It sounds good. I think it's Mario's.
Yeah.
I think he got mud in his phone yesterday. I think Mario got a little bit of mud packed in that microphone.
Yeah, it happens.
He'll probably come on a different phone or something.
Okay, cool.
So both you guys working tomorrow, I take it?
What's that?
Yeah.
You guys working tomorrow? Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I don't do much setting of tile in the field anymore, so I guess it's work.
Yeah, it's work.
Yeah. There's always something to do.
Right.
I'm gonna redo that floor I had to demo like a month ago. I got the strata and all that shit back down. I'm not too happy about it, but he's paying, so fuck.
So, Carlo, there's Mario.
I'm back. Keep going with Carlo.
I was just saying I'm gonna redo that floor I did, that herringbone floor tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Carlo's another one, man. He posted some shit that the client wasn't happy with, and he went and posted about all the demo, and that shit was a nightmare.
Yeah, I mean it was a beautiful floor, and I'm gonna let him lay it out. I went full tile off the long wall, full tile off the curb, all the cuts behind the vanity in the toilet, and he says he was sick to his stomach. You saw his pictures on it. It's pretty good, but so he called me to apologize for being so weird, this and that, and say he was going to take care of me and this and that. So
yeah, should wait till the vanity goes in before he says anything.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What does Jason say? Let me finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, just let it be done. Yeah. So, anyways, man, not everybody got, everybody who was watching from Facebook, or from YouTube, on the videos, they saw one thing, man. But for us guys who were there, seeing what you guys did, that shit was crazy. Like at the very end of that, dude, I walked up to both your guys' floats and just barely touching them, and you could just push us right in. Like that. Neither one of your guys' walls were even close to kicking.
No,
You know,
it was
so
it was
like,
as wet could be. You know, that was tricky, and I'm sure we're both dealing with it. I was like, dude, I don't even want to touch this. If I touch this, it's gonna move. You know, and I was surprised, like really, like how close both of our walls, you know, not just to each other, but how close they were to being perfect. I mean, Joe's was only a 16th out in two different places. With that wet of mud, I was like, oh damn, I didn't expect that. And then, you know, even on my wall, what I was like a quarter inch out of square, and then I had, you know, like what, 5 different places where I was a 16th out. But even that, like, I even think like if you would have told me before I did the competition that was going to be a result, I would have probably been like, I'm good with that. Like, it went about as well as I think I could have done on it. I mean, there might have been a few things now that I know where it went out I would have changed, but I think, yeah, it was tough. It was, you know, I never floated like that with my sticks still that wet, and pulling my sticks when it's that wet, and then filling it when it's still that wet, and then trying to rub it down when it's that wet.
Yeah, so, that's not good.
No, it's not. It's not how you want to do it. But we both pull it off pretty damn good. I was telling Joe, I said, you know, even though my wall was out a little bit, that's still something I would have set on, and I was surprised.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I was thinking the same damn thing. I was like,
oh yeah,
either one of these walls, because that's why, like, when I walked up to you, I was like, all right, man, you came up in the tracks, huh? Don't lie to me. Yeah. Don't lie to me. And you're like, nah, I've been a custom guy. Well, I was like, nah, that's fucking track rat shit right there, brother. Float that shit ready for tile in less than an hour.
Yep. Yeah. And I think for everybody who was there, because, you know, Chase from Flow Effects was there. You know, we had a bunch of mud guys. Everybody who saw our floats, they were like, damn, I can't believe you guys pulled that off. Like, you looked at our floats and you're like, damn, I mean, it's not perfect, but for what you guys did, that's a damn good float. So
yeah, 37 minutes is respectable.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I would have ran. I mean, either one of those walls, you run 4 1/4 on those right away after. You know, fucking those things would have been tits.
Yep.
It's been tits.
Yep.
And I knew going into this challenge, it doesn't matter how good you are. When you're forced to go that fast and try to pull your sticks and fill them and rub your float that quick, it's a 50-50 chance of losing. And I went into that knowing that I had a 50% chance of losing. And that was stressful in itself. And when I was squaring up my wall, you're right there, Mario, I was having problems with the bottom. Somehow something moved.
It just kept kicking. Yeah.
It kept kicking. And I was like, I was thinking in my head, I got a 50-50 chance of getting this done right now and fix it, or I'm going to fight it too much. And then he's going to pull way in front. I'd be screwed. I got lucky on the bottom. I tapped it in on the left side and it was square. And then I was like, okay, go time.
Yeah. I think because like watching you guys grade, I don't know if anybody out on the live caught it. I don't know whose idea it was, me, Joe, or Mark, but I think when you were filling the sticks, we got into like a unified thing, like, you know, rod it one more time, real light, just raise the mud with the feather edge one more time. Yeah, and Joe did, and you pulled material off. You know what I mean? A little bit here and there, and that I think that your guys' walls were so close to each other that last little, you know, run at it with that edge might have made the difference.
Yeah, because you're thinking, you think a 1/16 of an inch over 7 feet. I mean, that's like nothing, man.
That's nothing, bro.
That's nothing. That's like a sheet of paper, man. And so, that little thing, I thought about that. So one of the things I thought, I was so concerned about finishing first that I go, damn, why didn't I take my edge and just run it? Why didn't I put my level on it one more time, even when it was wet, and then put my edge on it again? But, you know, so much stuff was going, dude. So much stuff was going, and literally my arms were shot, dude. When I was, you know, rubbing it down, dude, I could barely hold my trowel. I was shaking. You know, it was like my forearms were just done.
Same thing happened to me when I got to the top of my second wall. When I was trying to push the mud on the top, my arm was just giving up, and I was using my upper body to shove my arm into the wall.
You see, guys, what I don't get with you guys in your one coat is I've done the one coat on some wainscots, and my sticks wouldn't dry. So I had learned I had to wait. When I do scratch and brown, I can set my stick. I can go over it immediately, you know?
Yeah.
Right
So
away.
so what I did is I figured there was no way that the sticks were going to set up, no matter, we would have had to sit there for a half an hour waiting for sticks to set up. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to screed them, and then I'm going to check them again, and then tamp them if they need to be tamped, and then screed again. So I knew the sticks were going to be moving. And like Joe said, I was kind of just hoping like that Joe was going to screw up more than me, because I knew there was going to be stuff moving around. And I'm like, this is some of this is going to be luck, because that's it. I mean, setting tiles sometimes, you know, luck obviously favors the prepared, right? But you know, it's like that when you end up with a full cut when you didn't mean to, or you know, you're screeding your wall and you thought you dug in too much, but you actually made it perfect, you know. And so I knew there was going to be something like that where we just had to do the best we could and kind of hope. And but Joe's came out when he put that 8-foot box edge on there. I was like, damn, you got that thing. Really? We can't even fit a 16th spacer under there. That's freaking good, dude. Joe's came out good.
Yeah, after you guys were done, Chase was going around with that box edge going to both of those floats. And he was hitting it on the walls. And he started, you know, he went to yours, Isaac, and he was like, what the fuck? And he looked at me and he goes, he's looking at me, he looks at the edge, he looks at me, and I was like, it's fucking good, huh? He's like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And then he goes to Joe's and he's putting it on Joe's and he's like, son of a bitch. And I was like, straight up, man. Straight up. Like, we tell you guys all the time and you never believe us.
Yeah, it was cool because Chase, you know, he's out there in Utah. They don't float walls, but he told me there was a couple guys that floated out there. So he said he wanted to try it to, you know, maybe make a name for himself out there. And he said he tried one wall and he had that thing falling down on him 3 or 4 different times. He said, I did it once and that was it, you know. And so it was cool to see him, who's seen, you know, he's a professional in the industry, and he was there side by side with me and he was blown away. He was like, dude, you guys are like freaking magicians, dude. I don't know how you guys made that happen. And so to hear that from people who hadn't seen mud work was just really cool.
Yeah. And a lot of it's just in how you flick it up there with your wrist. It's the direction that you spread it.
Yep.
Attaches it to certain parts of the wall. You just have to learn which way to flow it.
Yep.
Now, Joe, I noticed you use that Portuguese trowel, so you only get 1 scoop of mud up on the wall at a time.
Right.
As compared to a hawk, I got like maybe 3 scoops or so. You know, you're still fast. I was just kind of tripping on that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just something I got used to over the years. I originally started using it. My friend that I worked with in the union, he ended up staying in Local 3. His name is Ray. He's actually friends with Lupe from Local 3 that did our evaluations at the ACT test. So I was talking to Lupe about that over at the covering show in Vegas. But I started using that after he showed me because I liked the wrist position. It was like this instead of like this. And I just got used to it. And not only do I use it as a hawk, but I can throw it inside of a niche to keep my mud. You know, when I trowel it on there, I can pull that away from it, move the trowel out of the way, and I can seem to get mud on corners a lot quicker with it.
I noticed that when you're doing your edges.
Mm-hmm.
I always wondered why you use that float. But when I seen you doing your edges, I was like, oh shit, I get it. Because you fucking jam it against the end of the, you know, perpendicular to the wall.
Right.
At the end, and boom, he puts his mud in. Boom, he puts his mud in. Because I remember at one point your corner had fallen off. And I was like, Joe, roll it over the top and, you know, get a little here and this and that. And, you know, you did it your way. And I was like, oh, fuck, that's way fucking better. You know what I mean? Because I'm used to having to freehand that shit. You know what I mean? When you jam that float in there and you pushed in, you know, it's like you pushed it in and like that, and then cut it. I was like, oh, fuck. And that you came out. I was like, that fucking corner's nice. You know?
Yeah, that's what I use it for. That, niches and windows.
Right.
whenever I can fit it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think I only use my hawk when I fill my strips. That was the only time I used my hawk in the whole thing, because I'm way
Right.
faster. If I have a mud table right next to me, why am I going to scoop it onto a hawk and then scoop it off the hawk onto the wall? I'll just grab as much as I can right off the table, and then just get it up there. So
Yeah, when we're racing like that, you don't have time to be playing with your mud and flipping it and stuff. We're just going all in at, just throwing it at the wall.
Yep, it was just get as much mud up on the wall as fast as I could, man.
It probably doesn't come out as nice because we're not like working the mud, getting it all nice on the hawk, but it pays off. You just have to go fast.
Yeah.
Right.
When you're racing. Yeah.
Well, we had the nice thing is we had helpers that were getting mud as fast as we need it. That's kind of rare to have a mud box right next to you, and fresh mud chopped up. And I ran into so the wall that I had trouble on that got pushed in my stick on the top right. The mud was the stuff that I had already screeded off into the bucket, and Chase didn't know any better, and he just dumped it right on the table.
Right.
So it was stiff. So I was having to burn it in tough, and it was already setting up a little bit. And so when I screeded it on the wet stick, I was just pushing too hard trying to get the screed through it. So
was that on your second wall or the first one?
That was the second wall. That was my last part that I did. So it was used up mud.
Was it towards the top where it was out of square?
That's what happened.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, because we were constantly chopping Joe's mud. At one point in time, for Joe's second wall, we made a second batch.
Oh, there you go.
We made a second batch, and we kept the old mud on one side so he could use it to fill, and we had the new mud. So he had a fresh batch for both walls
all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. So that
that helped a lot.
Yeah, going forward, that's important because the mud is so much tighter after it comes off the wall and you put it into a bucket than something that just got chopped up in the box. I used to, when I'd have a helper that would bring the buckets in too early, I'm like, dude, now I'm gonna have to put it on the table and freaking chop it up. It's like, wait till I'm ready. It's like a fine line, right? You don't want to be waiting for mud, but you don't want them to bring buckets in before you need it.
Yeah, by the time you start using it, it's fucking hard.
Yeah,
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that got me thinking. Last night when I was thinking about this, it's like I'm thinking that. I'm starting to think this should be a team event. You know what I mean? You always need a helper. You know what I mean? You always need a helper. You know what I mean? And it really is. One guy's pushing the mud, but there actually is a lot of moving parts.
Oh, definitely.
You know what I mean? To mudding a wall. You know what I mean? And like you were saying, like you need a helper that knows how you do it to put your shit. Like I remember, like at one point in time, I was even watching in the live. I was setting Joe's trowel in the middle of the table and his hawk on the edge, or his and then right at the last second before he turns around to grab, I realized, oh fuck, he's left-handed, and I switched him.
Yeah. It was like almost like a NASCAR pit stop, right? It was like, and having two helpers was interesting. It was just flowing,
right?
And so Vlade, who was helping me, he was a champ, and he's a mud guy. He could probably beat me. He goes for speed all the time. That's all he does. Russian dude, and just freaking goes for it.
Yeah.
But
is he the one that had the phone on his side?
Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that he was a good helper.
Oh yeah, he was.
Well, Joe, you always mixed Joe mud for years, haven't you? You mix it in front of the water.
For like pretty much the last 7, 8, 9 years, I've been mixing and floating all by myself, and then finally I got a helper 2 months ago.
I refuse. Yeah.
But you need a helper, Joe. Man, you need it'll beat up your body trying to do it by yourself.
Yeah, I finally got one.
That's right. Congratulations.
The thing I like about it is, like, if we do them like that, and like we start making team ones, I even like that. I never worked with Joe before. Never worked with Mark before. You know what I mean? Like you said, there's 3 of us going. We had one of Eden's homeboys who chopped up that second batch, but like just the 3 of us, we jumped on there and we started doing our thing. And it's like, that's like what I was saying. Like we all know what to do. It doesn't matter who you're with, where you're at. You know what I mean? You know, three guys. We never worked with each other before. We all do it different. You know what I mean? And almost, I mean, it didn't even look like we didn't work together. I haven't watched it on YouTube, so I haven't watched yours yet. But like when I watched the one that was the live of me, the video of me and Joe, it's like, oh shit, man. You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, we're getting down, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, you could see us all moving, and we weren't bumping into each other, and Joe was just constantly going. I was like, fuck, man. Then I mean, it looks like we practiced. Like we practiced together before.
Well, look at Matt Taylor's video. He's got Jose, Eric. That's a fine old machine right there, too.
That was killer.
Everyone knows what they're doing.
Absolutely.
When I work for Mike Shapiro, we go back and forth. I'm helper, he's the boss. But, you know, two experienced house setters is a good fucking thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So going forward, maybe it's a 3-man thing, you know?
3-man teams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3-man teams. You know?
I like that idea.
Yep.
I got my team.
So who's gonna be next? We gotta start talking about who's gonna take on the California King of Mud, man. So
well, I mean, right now, yeah, at this point, it's Joe. It's Joe, and I guess me and Mark are stuck being his helpers for the next round until we can knock off.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's going to be me, Joe, and Mark, and then we'll just get a couple 3-man teams that want to go up to the. I can't imagine Cortopassi not wanting to do it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, they would.
So we'll get a couple teams up there during their pig thing next. What is it, in October? Then we'll get up there and we'll see what 3-man teams want to step to the plate, and we'll get guys going, and that'd be it. I mean, if we get a couple teams because we could do a morning and an afternoon, like let a team take it on in the morning, and the winner of that team gets to take on Joe in the afternoon.
Yeah. Yeah. We could also do, I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be 1-on-1 either, right? You could do 4 at a time. I mean, if you set up 4
there should be like an eliminations thing where people have to pitch in, $100 to enter or something. That way there's a pot for somebody to win where you don't have to rely on the sponsorship.
Well, we could do well, like you said, I mean, I don't think that sponsorships for a prize is going to be that big of a deal for most manufacturers or vendors, you know what I mean? But like you're saying, like if we get like 4 or 5 modules going and you just, grade the best ones, and, if there's a fucking elimination heat that has to be done, or like you say, there's a couple of different ways we could do it,
So who are the names of guys you're thinking? Because, I mean, first of all, you have to be from California, right? Because if you're not a California tile setter, you're not really a tile setter, right? So,
right, pretty much, yeah.
First off,
you got to be a tile setter to compete.
California.
Right? I agree.
Richard Waite feels targeted.
But who are the other
some serious teams, and I don't think it'll be all California guys. Like we got Rod Catwick, you got Rod Catwick. He's from Southern California, but he operates out of Utah, and he's fucking down for it. You got Mike in Idaho,
Yeah, we got a couple guys in Idaho.
I would imagine Matt and Flack, probably would want to make a team on that,
we got Mike Moreno, Chris Stover, Mike Shapiro, Mike Warner, myself. We could put together a fucking team. We got Ralph.
Start having, and I think there's guys that, kind of hang out in the shadows to be down for it too. Like I heard somebody talk about Jason Jens as fast as fuck, and I've heard a couple guys mention his name, on the page, that dude can fucking get down.
Yeah.
So, I think that, we should start working out, Joe.
And there's also guys that aren't on social media that I know. I'm sure you guys, they fucking kill it too.
Exactly.
Floating, setting, they just don't care about social media. Some of the guys I learned from, they have social media and they're badass.
There's thousands of guys like that are off social media that are just badass. Nobody even knows about them.
I think we could really start having, I think if we pushed it and we started trying to do them, quarterly maybe, and having competitions quarterly, I think we could start getting some fucking teams really starting to pop up.
There's 2 aspects to this challenge, though, because you can have the best guy out there that should win, but as soon as you have these cameras in front of people and they know they're live in front of thousands of people, it screws them up.
I bet.
Yeah.
it'll screw them up. So they have to be able to put up with that at the same time. It's actually fun because it could turn out a totally different way. So that's what makes it exciting a little bit.
Yeah, it's a different thing. Like I said, I told Joe, I was like, dude, there's 1,500 people that watch this live, and if you think about seeing, 1,500 people in a stadium watching you, I mean, that's a trip to think about. You think about that, go, dude, that's a lot of eyes.
Well, Joe and Mike took that act test in front of a bunch of people, didn't you guys? Joe?
Yeah, that was my warm up for this YouTube challenge. I had to go do that in Vegas. So it was kind of settling, it kind of got me warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
You guys, he didn't fucking have a hard time at coverings. These motherfuckers were sitting there posing for fucking pictures, going to the edge and talking. They spent more fucking time waiting for their mud to kick so that when they started, rubbing it down again so they could get it all nice
and all pretty.
Up. Yeah, fuck yeah. The putting the mud on the wall, that didn't take them long at all. I talked to Mike and Pete for like 15, 20 minutes off to the side at one point in time. And we looked at where Joe's, you were off talking to your girlfriend and some other people, just waiting for your mud to kick. That way you guys can finish it off. Yeah,
I really liked, I think the speed thing really added an element of intensity to the event.
Absolutely.
I mean, it was happening. I mean, I've played football and I did college football, and I've been in, doing YouTube in front of a lot of people and stuff, but the intensity of that event, I mean, it was incredible. I mean, it was just the energy that was happening. And and once we started, dude, it was just on. It was just
I could hear your trowels, and you probably heard mine. I didn't even want to look over there. I was just listening the whole time.
I saw Isaac looking at Joe's a couple times.
Let's take a peek. Where's he at? Okay.
Yeah.
And I had my guys. I had Chase in my. Yeah, I had Chase in my ear. He'd be like, "Okay, you're looking good, man. Oh yeah, you're doing great, man. You're way ahead. Keep going."
He also rubbed you down with the sponge.
What's that? I was jealous. I was like, fuck, man, I didn't do that for Joe. This is fucking bullshit.
They wiped off your face with a sponge.
Next time I'm gonna bring rags and shit and a little fucking like those
Mister,
put a little water in his mouth, wipe his face.
Isaac, just a heads up, if you go on Facebook, you're going to see screenshots of people washing your face.
Guilty. I'm gonna have some trading cards made up of everybody, like baseball cards, all your guys' pictures and stats and whatever.
Yeah, I told my wife.
That's just dope as fuck. But we gotta find. We were just talking in the backstage area before we went on. We gotta find some method. I liked the way it was graded. You know what I mean? I think that kind of, it seems like that works, but we got to find something that is a method for the contest that the Scratch and Brown guys and the one coat guys agree on, that this is what we're going to do. Be it over, we're going to do single coats over metal lab. Are we going to go over pre-scratched walls, or, you know what I mean? Or does the wire even matter? Like some guys can go over chicken wire, some guys can go over lab, but I think that we need to have that discussion and find, soon, before October's, on how we want to do it. That way we can get us all together and get it done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's going to be, that might be a little tricky, but I mean, most Scratch and Brown guys can do one coats though, right?
I've done it. I'm not happy with it because it takes forever to fucking dry. I'm just used to when I scratch on a Friday, I brown Monday.
We are.
Yeah.
I don't think they're comfortable at doing it like we are, because that's all we do. So I think it would be kind of like an unfair advantage on our part. But then if we go the other way, it would be an unfair advantage on their part. So it's one of those things. I don't know how to work it out.
I don't know. I've done both, man. And like Carlo's saying, man, when you set your sticks on a scratch, they're ready. I mean,
you gotta hurry too. You gotta hustle to get those sticks up.
Fuck yeah, dude. I mean, that float is ready to go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's the opposite of what you're expecting. You actually need to move when you're going over a scratch.
Mm-hmm. When I go over, I've scratched some stuff in the past, just a little bit of things, not like full shower scratched or anything. Actually, I did a long time ago for a shop. But anyways, I noticed I'll skim coat, and if I don't put another coat over the top of it right away, it dries. So
yep, and it ain't gonna stick, right?
I'll skim like a couple feet and then thicken it up real quick.
Well, why don't we do? I think what we should do is we should have 2 separate competitions. We should have maybe a SoCal one and a NorCal one. I don't know.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? But I think then you're even going to get into that situation where eventually the king of the North is going to have to fight the king of the South.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The boss battle.
Right.
That's
true. Video game.
Maybe you do. Maybe what you do is like if you come down to that point, if it's like the Super Bowl or whatever.
There you go.
Then you do.
Go. I like that idea.
Then you do one of each, right? Do one of each. Each guy has to go outside their comfort zone and do the other one.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
I like that. I like that idea.
Because then it's even.
Do one, like, just have a fucking module set up like that where one wall is scratched and the other one's wired.
Yep.
See, I like that. When you guys one coat, you guys had a solid backing of drywall or whatever it is.
Yep.
Which to me seems like fucking legit.
Yeah.
But you know, when we're pulling paper over studs, it's a little more of a process, you know. Like you were saying, Mario, you gotta keep it taut, you keep your wires straight, and there's tricks in that. But I try one coat over solid backing.
It's fighting the sag, man. You gotta fight the sag. You're always fighting the sag.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, your mud is like always that close to just falling off.
Yeah, I like that idea that when it comes down to that, you just do one of each. But I think maybe you do a north and a south one, and then they go head to head.
Yeah, do like the northern competitions and the southern competitions, and once a year we get together and the champion
drink
of
some
the
beers
north
and float.
of the south go at it.
Yep.
I like that idea.
Yeah.
I'm down, whatever.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You guys know where I'm on the south over here, so.
And then we'll figure out a little bit. I think the way we were grading it, Joe, is just to be clear. Like, so we did like 3 spots in each wall, right?
Yes.
We did the 2 outsides, 1 in the middle, and then when we did square, we did bottom, middle, and top, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that worked pretty good.
Yeah,
I do too.
A good starting point, at least, right?
Yeah, and maybe we can have some discussions on how we can maybe firm that up a little bit. Because if we start talking about real money, I mean, if we're talking $5-10 grand, I mean, we better have our system legit, or people
there's going to be arguments.
Pissed. Yeah, there's going to be arguments.
Yeah, we're going to be settling these fucking floats with fist fights, huh?
Yeah. I mean,
the bottom line is just it's got to come out perfect, right? I mean, that's where our floats are, anyways.
Yeah,
just make it perfect.
And so, what Joe and I were talking about, because when we were doing it, we both kind of would just look at each other and go, "Yeah, I agree," you know. But Joe and I were cool. But if you get 2 people with a lot of money, and it's competitive, if there's a discrepancy, then there could be problems. But I was telling Joe, I think if we let that float set up for an hour, put fans on it or whatever, let it set up, then you could really, put shims behind it and get more accurate. Because the mud was so wet, we were trying to put shims in there, just 16ths to see, and then just push right into the mud. Like nothing, hard. Dude. Like you wouldn't even put pressure on it. As soon as you put pressure, it just sink right in.
I was assuming the warehouse was going to be hot. If I had any idea it was cold like that, I would have brought calcium up with me. Because if we would have thrown calcium in the mud, it would have fired at some point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we would have been able to check it. It'd take maybe about an hour. It probably would have hardened up in about an hour.
I'm sorry, you were breaking up, Mario. What were you saying?
If I'd have known your shop was air conditioned, I would have brought calcium with me.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? That way we could fucking get those, like you said, get the floats to kit.
Yeah.
That way they're hard for when we check them.
Yeah. Yeah. But it would be, I mean, it would just be, we have to figure that part out. How are we going to get it to set up to where we can take really good inspections of it?
Right.
And because part of the whole thing and what makes competitions like this successful is that we do them fast, and that way people are tuned in and they're watching. And I could even see, like on my video, I can see when the viewers drop off. Yep. And they dropped off when we were sitting around standing, just waiting till we measured. Right, it drops off, and then they hop back on when you do. So we'll have to figure out how we do that. Like if we're gonna have a break in between, maybe we even do the results in a different video at the end. You know, take a break, come back, and then just make a new live stream at that point.
You have like a half-hour intermission,
or you
for the rating.
or you could start at different times, so there's always someone competing, so to speak. So you go from this guy to this guy.
Absolutely, yeah, because not everybody has to go at the same time, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. No.
Yep. Because we cleaned those modules. I mean, fuck. I didn't even think you were gonna clean them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Fucking Isaac's a go-getter, man. I mean, we were fucking done. We were done, and they fucking ripped that mud down, all that wire in the dumpster, quick.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately after we floated.
Yeah, I think we were done. Let's see, we started at 4, so we were probably done with everything by 5. And then by 6 o'clock, we were cleaned up like the place was brand new. Wiped down the floors, just pulled the wire right off. And the modules are still setting up, man. And I've left them up because I'm thinking like, shoot, maybe even somebody wants to come up and do a lesson or something, because I have the modules built.
Fucking A right, bro.
Dude, you can if you're putting up the paper, you can just peel it off every time, and it's ready to go.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool, man. So Carlo, you know what I mean? Like we got to set up a Southern California one. You know, get these set up. And
I'll put together a team.
Like 3 a year, 3 in the north, 3 in the south. And then maybe we'll just make the mud events where the Super Bowls are at.
Oh, that would be sick.
Yeah.
There you go. Yep.
So
maybe just give us a day before to do the scratch, so we have kind of the same playing field, so to speak. You know.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, what if people can afford to compete, but they can't afford to say take off and travel to wherever the mud event might be for the Super Bowl?
We'll have to get them there.
Yeah,
we'll have to get them there.
That's what I'm thinking too.
If they're that good and they've won, man, we'll figure out a way to get somebody to pitch in and donate and get them up.
Right. But I mean, it's one of those things, man. You know, when guys that are competitive and want to compete and things like this, they'll find ways to make it happen.
They'll find a way. Yeah.
Yeah, they'll find a way to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I remember when this shit first started, it was a stretch for me just to get out of work and try to get to Stockton. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but you know, if you want it, you're gonna make it happen.
Yeah. Yeah. If we do, you know, maybe make the mud event somewhere in Central California, even like maybe Santa Cruz, Monterey, somewhere cool, or you know, there's some good tile guys down there. Or Fresno works, Stockton, you know, a place where both, you know, the NorCal guys and SoCal guys can get to.
I will not argue with any event that's next to the ocean.
There you go.
Yeah, well, you know, like the mud event kind of is turning itself into something with that guys on the outside are really becoming more attached to and dependent on in some level, to some degree. Like guys really do look forward to going to the mud event, to hanging out with us, seeing what we do. And it's like the longer we're doing it, more and more guys are like leaving the mud event and like within a week posting showers that they floated in their town.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And Mike is going to be involved for a long time, and he's got a beautiful venue. And I mean, for functionality of the venue, for the kind of event we're doing, you know what I mean? We're, you know, being centrally located in the West, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things. There's a lot of boxes that check yes and okay on Mike's location. You know what I mean? And, you know, for us mud guys here in California, yeah, I mean, it's about mud and this and that. But I think that, you know, California guys that don't want to go to Idaho, dude, if we're doing fucking 3 South and 3 North competitions a year, that's going to be fucking basically, if you time them out right, a competition every 2 months or every 6 weeks. You know what I mean? And at some point, you're going to start having that I think that tree will start to grow the more guys want to compete.
Yep.
Like to where you, like you said, like Joe said, you're going to have in some kind of like rounds of elimination. So, I think over the course of time, it could grow into something where us mud guys, because I mean, for us, I think like last night was perfect. I fucking could do that easily.
Yeah.
6 times a year.
Yep.
One night,
no
what I mean?
problem.
Drive into a town, go in there, float a shower, fucking tear it down, go have dinner, drink some beers, go home.
Yep. That's perfect.
It was a lot of fun.
It was fun.
Mhm.
It was fun. And like for us in the north, you know what I mean? All us northern guys, I don't see Sacramento as being a hump for anybody, really. You know what I mean? Like I live as far south as the one coat goes, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's only 3 hours for me to get to Sacramento.
Mm-hmm.
I easily got there, and I was home 12:30.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be some, I don't see too many San Francisco guys in the. You guys have many San Francisco guys in your group?
No. And it's kind of funny you say that, man. I think that it's just such a rat race in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
The guys just get so hyper focused on work that they really don't
have
with
time.
anything else. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
that guy's
there's a lot of guys floating out in that area. There's
Fuck yeah.
a ton of them.
Oh yeah, it's pretty much all
a ton
of
of them. Like, you know what I mean? But like you said, I've never really had a lot of participation from guys in the Bay Area, and I was like, we're gay too, bro. Like, you see the shit, you see the shit we're saying on our group. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like, we're down. No, but like, I even talked to some like Kristen when he used to work in the Bay Area.
Mm-hmm.
And things like that. Brian Domowski, like other guys, other reps I knew that work, they don't get a lot of participation from guys in the Bay Area either.
Interesting.
I think that's really just what it is, man. I mean, if your eyes are open, you got to work in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
It's so terrible out there that if you don't own your own home in the Bay Area, which is really hard to do.
Oh, you're commuting, huh?
If you don't go straight home, you don't find parking. If you stop at the grocery store, you can't park next to where you live.
Oh
it's like that bad. So everybody's just always go. I did it down there my whole life until about 4 or 5 years ago, and I don't miss it. I hate it down there now.
Mm-hmm.
It was just intense,
mm-hmm.
stressful. Silicon Valley, trying to go to a different location every week or two to a different job. You don't know what the traffic's going to be like. It's just awful.
Yeah.
Even San Jose. I was born in San Jose. I love it.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm sure though if we did an event, in the Bay Area, maybe that helps grow the channel. I mean, kind of like touring, man. You set up.
But like Joe said, man, it's so fucking ugly out there, man. I mean, you can't. I mean, the odds of having an event at a shop and being able to park your car anywhere near it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna have people shitting on the sidewalk while you're trying to carry your tools to the house. Gonna have people shitting on the sidewalk while we're filming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the last year I lived in San Jose, I had my van broke into twice.
Damn.
And that was it.
Sucks.
That was done.
That sucks.
It's getting bad down there with the homeless.
Yeah, it's terrible, dude. It's terrible.
It's terrible here too.
Yeah, you're right.
California,
it is terrible down there too.
Bad or maybe worse.
Even my street, it's just fucking. There's no parking either. I straight out. I get home from work. I'm lucky if I get a spot. I got my truck full of tools. Blah blah blah. But my driveway's for my lady, so I park on the street.
Right.
Anyways.
Well, hey, I got to bounce, you guys. But
all right. Nice to meet you, Isaac.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Carlo. Good hanging with you guys last night. And congratulations, Joe. You're a hell of a tile guy, man. I don't know how you got those walls like that, but
I appreciate
good job.
it, man. It was stressful racing against you. You did a great job too.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
I think
you did. There's no you did.
Everyone was really surprised, Isaac, at you. Honestly.
Oh, right on. Right on.
Pleasantly surprised. Cool.
All right, guys. Hey, we'll talk to you soon, huh?
Okay.
All right.
Late.
All right. See you guys. Peace.
I got company too, guys. I'm gonna jam. Thank you, Mario, for having me over here. Joe.
All right.
See you guys later.
Later, buddy.
Bye.